It's a day, and welcome to Hoops and Hot Takes, the Thunder basketball podcast. Being shot right now in front of a fading flame, of which it took us
about 20 minutes.
20 minutes to start, and it will probably go out here in a minute. But we're gonna kind of give a quick wrap up about, the season, because in case you weren't aware, the Thunder basketball season's over. And I'd say it ended on a high note.
Yeah, kind of.
Fumbled the bag against the Timberwolves. Last play-in game. That's okay, they won. We didn't really have an answer for Karl-Anthony Towns or Rudy Gobert, as our tallest player was Jay Will.
But we held our ground against the Pelicans.
And we beat the Pelicans, which was a big win. So a lot of people had that pegged as a Pelicans game and showed up and showed out. And a couple other things has happened since then. First team All-NBA.
Yep.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which is something to hang your hat on. So first team All-Rookie J-Dub.
Yeah.
He actually received almost unanimous votes for that spot
Until Jay
Will got that one. But according to sources,
was not a mistake.
Because the person had J-Dub and Jay Will on the same ballot, which that person knows their stuff.
They do.
So at one point we had a fire going here, so probably can't see it, but we're working on it. So it's alive. Go ahead and cook your s'mores. Okay, yeah. So Phoenix just eliminated in 6 games at home by none other than the Denver Nuggets, who are playing very good basketball.
Which I actually had the Suns in 5 in the series, which kind of saw how that went. But
yeah, Suns didn't win that one, unfortunately. But they gave it their best shot. And by their best shot, DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul set out the last elimination game.
Out of those two, which one gets moved immediately?
Ooh, that's a good Ayton. Chris Paul's contract goes up, but I think Ayton's just not happy there. So I think he said he loves it in Phoenix, but I think he asks out. I think Chris Paul's harder to move. Yeah. But they end up moving Ayton because they can. But I don't know what they're going to give for him. Maybe Turner from the Pacers.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Because I know Turner wanted out anyway. But
that's an odd situation too. But
what do you think?
Maybe a sign and trade with Kyrie for Ayton.
To Phoenix? Ooh. That's right. Kyrie's going to be on LA next season, but that's just me.
I don't know.
I've called that for a little bit now. I think Kyrie's going to LA. I think he wants to play with LeBron again. He wants a redemption arc. But back to Thunder basketball. Yeah. So Lou Dort snubbed from all defense team.
That shocked me.
He was rated
not even second team.
What was he? The second worst person to be put up against in the NBA by players?
That I don't know about.
And so there was a poll, and players had him in at least the top 5 of worst people they want to play against, like when he's guarding them.
Yeah.
And then the media Lou Dort didn't make a team. So, but Dylan Brooks did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Dylan Brooks isn't a good defender. I'm just saying that sometimes I question what they're doing. But like Alex Caruso was like first teams, and you're like, what did he do this year? I don't know. He's a good defender, but defense is hard to, I think, quantify to some degree.
I was shocked about Herb Jones not making it either.
There was a lot of snub, but they only have 2 teams.
It's true.
Apparently. I think they need a third one for that. That's just me.
I mean, Herb, Giannis, Lou.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just crazy to think about. They definitely need a third team, though.
I would agree. And that way Lou could be on first team, and they can move all the other losers down to the second and third team.
Lots and lots of good players snubbed, but yeah, it's okay. We got the main one with Shai. So.
Yeah, that's kind of the hang your hat at the end of the season. And Chet's coming back. But Matt, I have a hot take for you. Not that we normally do these at the end of the show, but this has been mulling on my mind, and I have to share it with you. I've been thinking this for a while. I don't think Chet is going to come in next season and fix all our problems. That's my hot take. A lot of people keep saying, wait until Chet next season. And we don't even have Chet yet. Wait till Chet comes back next season. People expect him to be this miracle product that comes in and just solves all of our problems. Now, he helps with a lot of them. This will be his first year as an NBA player, though. He's undersized. build-wise, not
I was gonna say,
height-wise. But he's pretty tall, don't get me wrong. But I really don't think he's going to come in and fix all our problems first year like people expected to.
I don't think he'll have an immediate impact, but I do think we'll see a huge
I think he
shift.
helps, don't get me wrong, but people are saying like, we gonna get rebounding and we're gonna be playoff bound. I just don't see it. I think it takes 2 or 3 years before Chet's impact is actually noticeable. That's just me. Call me cynical though.
I just hope he is 100% by the end of the offseason. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
I hope he's ready to go. I asked this question on Twitter to a few people that actually responded, but would you want to see Chet Holmgren in Summer League?
Yeah.
If he was 100% ready to
100%,
go?
yeah.
If he
That's
was
me.
100%, yes. Like, I would love to see Chet play, just shake some rust off, get it going.
I definitely, that's better to warm up against those guys than warm up against LeBron, like you tried to do this offseason.
So how that went. But, yeah, so I think the majority answer was they wanted to see Chet play, but...
I agree. I think, he is a big, he's kind of a prodigal son, I guess, maybe, of the Thunder franchise right now, and the fact that once he returns, it's game over for the rest of the league, or at least that seems to be the idea.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then, so that was my hot take that I've been sitting on, and it sounds like you agree with me to an extent, but I do hear the takes on Twitter that are like, he's coming back, it's over. Now, a lot of that is just Thunder hype, you know? But I really don't see him making that big of an impact, and I hate to say that. I'd love for him to come back and change my life. And also, I've been pretty hard on J-Dub as well.
You have.
It
hurts my feelings just listening to it.
But you know why? Because I had coaches on me that were let me think about how I want to say this. I had coaches that when I was growing up were hard on me. They were like, "Hey man, you got to be tough. Yeah, I want you to do better. I know I expect better from you." And I want J-Dub to be like that, man. I want him to be perfection. And that's why I keep saying, I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. Because I think people forget J-Dub had a great season.
Oh,
second rookie of the year. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
At, what did we take him, 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we took him at 12. He had 2 more years than all the rookies coming in. Don't forget that. He was a junior when we drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
And then also he came in where a team where we needed him to produce.
Yeah.
And he did. Don't get me wrong. But he got a lot more touches than some of the other rookies.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I really think that next year he might. I don't think he's going to regress, but I don't think he's going to make the big leap everybody's intending. If he did, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. And call me, I don't know, just cautious. I'd love to be surprised.
Yeah.
I really thought Chet was going to fumble the bag in Summer League last year, and people were going to say, I thought he was going to be even more of a process then. Mm-hmm. But then he came in and broke the block record, first game. And then Kenny Lofton cooked him the next game. But then he had some good games, and you know what I mean? He performed well overall. Yeah. So, but yeah. What do you think? What's your big takeaway from this season? Anything?
Well, I think the biggest was really Shea just kind of becoming that guy, to lead us to the, promised land someday.
And so, leading into that, I was hard on Shea. I said he wasn't that guy. I said it last year, big time, and I've admitted to that on this podcast.
I think that's my thing is I didn't really expect Shea to become the guy this year.
Yeah.
I expected him to be obviously he's getting better every single year, but I wasn't expecting first team good.
Yeah. First team's impressive. There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
In the league.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's my biggest takeaway. J-Dub, obviously he's my second biggest. I love J-Dub. So.
Shout out J-Dub. Hey, J-Dub, if you watch this podcast, let us know what you think.
And then, really, it's just those 2, my big takeaways. Obviously, you got Jay Will. He was a kind of a shocker, just fitting in the.
I mean, he was
league.
just the energy, bro.
Yeah.
He came in with the energy, and it worked well. Bunch of young guys, and
I mean, he got a vote.
Well deserved, whoever voted him. So, yeah, I think the other thing for me was Isaiah Joe, but I think it was his peak into the best shooter in the league, and then the regression from that. Now, everybody goes into slumps, so I'm excited to see what he does next season. I'm assuming if we bring him back, because his contract was guaranteed this season. I don't know if he has one next season.
I'd say he's coming back, but...
If we let him go, that's a big loss.
I was the biggest Joe fan for ever. It felt like.
So what made you stop? I'm still a Joe fan. I know
I'm
you're
still
saying,
a Joe fan, but I was a little disappointed the way he ended the season.
I'm telling you,
Slightly.
streakiness.
Yeah. I mean, once he was hot, but kind of like towards the end of the season, you saw that kind of cool off, which kind of worries me because, like, I don't know. I really wanted him to be, continue this into next season.
The diamond in the rough. But it's hard to shoot at those clips anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he actually fell back pretty bad. Like, there's a streak of games where he only hit like 2 shots.
Yeah.
Period. And it was hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when we needed him. But, at the end of the day, we made the play in.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. We got a good shot, and we put out the Pelicans.
Yep.
So he was a big part of that, putting us in that situation the whole time. So I'm excited if he does come back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little nervous, though, because we got so the lottery's next week. As of today, it's May 12th.
Yep.
So, and next week is lottery odds, and the Thunder have the odds for the 12th pick, and that is where we got dubs. So there's talent in that region, but there always comes the question of, like, who do you play, who do you sit,
If I had to choose, like, I would absolutely trade up. I mean, we say this every year, trade up.
Yeah.
But, like, it feels like this year is like, okay, use some assets because
we have so many, and they're just burning.
Well, like, go ahead and, push this team over the play-in. Like, let's start playing.
But that's the thing, though. You can't rush it.
I know.
And so my thing is, we made the play-in.
Yeah.
Do not be like, this is not a championship contender. Do not push it this year at all. It was a surprise, but this is not push it time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if a big star asks out and they're young relatively, and they say, hey, what do you got?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hanging up that phone either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I agree. I think a trade up is, you won't get 1 or 2. Maybe 3. You could get 3, I think. You could.
3 is doable, but it would be very.
Because people are saying Miller at 3. Now, Miller has had issues off the court, I think most people know about. And if you don't, do some research. I'm not going to speak on that because I'm actually not super knowledgeable about this. But unfortunately, if we were to trade into 3, I don't see Presti taking Miller. I think he fits the program, but it's hard when you have some off-court issues, because I think Presti looks at that a little more than other people, because Presti's constantly said, I want players on this level. Now, I'm not saying that Miller necessarily is a bad guy, and I'm just saying that I just don't see, with that narrative, him coming in unless Presti sees something that I don't, or if something else comes out. So that's, and once again, Brandon Miller, it's Brandon Miller, right? Brandon Miller, if you're watching this, seriously, I'm not trying to judge character. I don't know you personally, but I just don't see us taking it. But then that leaves 3 open for who do you want at 3?
I haven't done enough research to know who I want at 3.
Me either. And it's really Scoot, Wemby are kind of the top 2. Miller looking at 3, and then the rest of the board I'm not super familiar with.
A lot of people want the Walker kid from Houston.
He's the center, right? The big guy. I think that would help.
Yeah,
Take some pressure off Chet.
For sure. I don't know anything about him. I actually haven't watched any film about him. I gotta start doing that, because usually
around this time but we need to know the area that our pick's in too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would help.
That helps a lot, but unfortunately, that's next week, so we'll find out relatively.
Yeah, that is coming up. Kind of came up fast too. Just not ready for this.
No, I'm not ready. I'm not mentally ready.
What sucks is, like, he does it so fast too. Like, he announces it like
you don't even really have a chance to react.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, man, slow down. Like, you just called my team at 12. Like,
yeah, let me. So, Matt and I scheduled to watch this 2 years ago.
Yep.
And I was 5 minutes late. And unfortunately, being 5 minutes late, they called the Thunder at 16 or something. Whatever one of the last.
It was at 6.
Was it 6? Oh, it was 6. That was the Josh Giddey year.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to talk to Matt for the rest of the night because he went to bed because he was upset.
I was very upset. I was watching the lottery with Austin.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, kind of. He was in the background just playing games.
Yeah.
And I remember just I was actually streaming it on my phone to them to watch because I was like, oh man, we're about to get pick number 3 or 2.
Well, that was the idea, but it was still
You know, we're about to get Houston's pick at 5.
there was a lot of
And then they're like, Oklahoma City pick 6.
and Matt was like, nah, that's it, bro.
And then they called Houston at like 3, I think, or 2. Yeah, it was 2 because Jalen Green. But so after that, I stopped streaming immediately and left the Discord and went to bed. I was very upset.
Understandable.
Because like we felt hard in that draft.
Yeah.
Like, it sucked, but like I know Wednesday when it approaches, they're going to call Thunder at 12, so I might as well.
That's what it's almost like we've been dreaming about. So I saw somebody on Twitter say, "Hey man, what if you get the first pick? Do you entertain trades for Wemby?" So first off, that's practically impossible to get the first pick here. It can happen. You're in the lottery, but
it'd be the biggest trade in like.
But what do you think? Do you entertain trades for Wemby?
If Presti was to get number 1, I think he would.
Why wouldn't he? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he would. Probably not this year, but I just like Sam Presti is known to like shop a lot of players, a lot of picks, and if he was to get one, like I said, I think it would be one of the biggest trades in NBA history within like the amount of picks involved and the amount of players.
Mm-hmm.
But
we don't need the picks.
Right?
But I understand there would be something involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we did this the other day, but we went through and we said, all right, what does a package look like for Wemby?
Yeah.
And
the price tag for Wemby is.
But we don't. It's nothing to like. I don't know what team is looking to rebuild with a star like that who has stars to offer up.
Yeah.
In that sense, you know, maybe the Raptors. Maybe you get like a Siakam and
OG.
a Siakam OG package. I didn't even think about that. That might be it. That might be the only one I think off the top of my head, like a Raptors Siakam OG.
Yeah.
And then maybe like some pick changes in there. But that's where. So that's one of those things is, if it happens, which it won't. You got to think about it because he fits right where Chet does.
Yeah.
You know.
Granted, I would love Wemby on my team.
I think it'd be cool, at least for a season. You can always test him out.
Yeah.
And then trade him, like Wiseman.
He's a rental. We rent Wemby for one season.
Just try him out. Come on, we'll just test drive him. Let the rest of the league see what's going on, and then. But yeah, so that's kind of some thoughts and some ideas about Thunder basketball and the off season and all that. And as of right now, the Nuggets are the only teams to make the conference finals. Celtics looking to close out in Boston, and Philly looking to steal the series in Boston.
Yep.
Got the Heat and the Knicks on right now, and then the Lakers might beat the Warriors. That's insane.
Let's check the score. The Heat's up by 6, 81-87. 3:30 left in the fourth quarter. Heat might do it.
Wow. That would be impressive to see them get back. I don't see them beating the Celtics, but I said I didn't see them beating the Knicks either. But the Celtics or the 76ers, I think, have their number.
Yeah.
What I know. But, yeah, who you got winning it all? We've talked about this, but the world needs to know.
So I posted on Twitter the other night, Suns in 5 against the Denver Nuggets.
Woo!
And I had my Ja Morant moment of I'm fine in the West with the Suns. No, the Nuggets told me to shut up, and they proved to me that they are the best team in the National Basketball Association. So
as of right now, anyway.
I do have the Denver Nuggets winning it all.
I agree.
I have the Golden State Warriors beating the Lakers tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they'll beat them in Game 7.
You think it'll be a reverse 3-1 sweep?
Mm-hmm. And then I have the Denver Nuggets putting out the Warriors, and then I have Philadelphia probably beating Miami.
I think Philly can win this series. Yep. That's the honestly, I want to see that game because that'll be a huge game for Harden and Embiid. But I really don't want to see the Celtics in the finals again. It sounds bad, but they're almost too young. I feel like they're kind of spoiled. Good on them for the talent. They made it. You know, I'm not doubting that, but like.
That's another odd situation is like, what do the Celtics do if they lose? You know, like.
You can't make that big a move, though, because they found something that works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's interesting how that's playing out. So. Jason Tatum's been kind of sus here lately.
Sus.
Uh,
Playing a lot of Among Us.
Jaylen Brown
Has been
playing out
pretty
of
good.
his mind.
Jason Tatum, for those of you that don't know, finished a game shooting 0 for 13 in the first 3 quarters, and then ended with 16 points in the fourth, and they won the game. This was the last game at Boston. So, you know, how you do that, I don't know, but he's pretty good. And then said he humbly is the best player in the world, or one of them. So I don't know how those words fit together, but.
So, since we're on the topic, kind of.
Kind of.
Who?
Oh, I done bugged.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
homie. I was trying to fix it and I messed it up.
It's okay. Oh, me.
Woo. Matt, did you have a favorite meme from this NBA season?
Like Thunder-wise or league-wise?
Let's do league-wise.
It's got to be Ja Morant. For me, at least. I mean,
There's a parade inside my city, yeah.
not quite, but
There's a parade inside my city. The I'm Fine in the West?
yeah. I mean, he got a lot of attention. It kind of bit him in the butt. You know, he owns up to it. Thought that was pretty great, though.
I mean,
Love his confidence.
yeah, for real. Confidence always key.
It kind of, I don't know. I think they showed a lot of youth against the Lakers. So. What about you?
I think my favorite was, there's 2. I liked when the Lakers started off like 0-4 or something.
Yeah.
And they kept taking Darvin Ham's like spot on his head. And they'd put a 0 and they'd put dash
Oh,
the
God.
Lakers record. That was kind of funny. But then I like the recurrence of the Chris Paul hits a huge 3 to cut the lead to 42.
It's a good one.
Except this time it was Campaign hits a huge 3 to cut the lead to 33. But still funny.
Yeah. What about the Thunder?
Favorite meme from the Thunder? I'd say probably J-Dub's reaction to Josh Giddey's Summer League poster.
Dude, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
That was
I'm
good.
telling you, Josh Giddey's poster in the Summer League was just...
I kind of...
Did we peak at that point? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I kind of like Josh Giddey's pointing to Josh Richardson.
Oh, yes, when he said, he's
like,
yeah.
don't do that
Don't
again."
you dare. Hey, come on, mate. Don't you dare do that again, mate.
That was
Clarky,
gold.
he said, if you do that, I'm going to put another shrimp on the barbie on you.
That was great.
Yeah, man, that was so good. And it was in the play-in, too. That's why it was so good.
Yeah.
He was fired up. He had a
Yeah,
great
it was
game.
tense.
1 assist or a rebound away from a triple-double or something.
Yeah.
So.
What was the most disappointing thing about Thunder basketball this season?
The most
It
disappointing?
could be a player, it could be an event, it could be something that happened along the season.
I would say the most disappointing. I would say we were so close to making the playoffs
Yeah.
that it was almost disappointing to make us think. I would have rather lost both playing games
For a better lottery chance.
for a better lottery chance than win one.
Yeah.
I don't think it actually would have affected our chances that much, but it was the thought of almost making the playoffs as such a young team and then fumbling that.
Yeah.
Because of the Timberwolves. Like, if it had been anybody else, I would have been okay. But the Timberwolves, it's like, come on, man. I mean, they got really 2 really tall guys, you know, and we don't really have the height at the center position.
Yeah.
But
I look at that like, I think the team got what they wanted in a way, and I think Presti got what he wanted in a way.
I agree, but
So-
to me, it's disappointing as a fan.
I don't,
It's like,
I'm
you
not
made
saying,
me believe.
Yeah. I'm not saying Presti wanted us to tank, but I think he would obviously have I think he's kind of proven in the past, like, you know, we should tank in some situations.
Yeah.
And I think maybe this season was part of that plan, maybe. But obviously the players had different plans about making playoffs.
Shay
and-
said, let's hoop.
yeah. So
What about you?
And
What
they
do you think?
hooped.
What do you think is your most disappointing?
excluding Chet, and Trey Mann's downfall is kind of
Man, I don't know what we're gonna do with him.
it's odd because I was really sad about that. I had a lot of hope for him when we first got him, and I still do. Like, in some ways, I don't think it's going to be on this team. Sadly,
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Trey Mann on a different team, either next season or maybe during a trade or something. I don't know.
It's sad to think about.
Yeah, he showed a lot of promise.
He, at one point, when he got drafted by the Thunder, tweeted he had like a midnight workout that night. And I
Yeah.
said, this guy's going to change the league. I was like, I said, this is so great. I love this. And he's still got it. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always the sophomore slump.
Yeah.
But
And
it's just hard to find a role when you've got somebody like,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, Joe
oh yeah, Joe
was definitely the better shooter this year.
Yeah, Joe kind of took over his minutes in some situations.
And I agree, but I mean, it was deserved at the time. Don't get me wrong, Trey was in a slump, but you need to play him. But it's how many people can you play in a season?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think maybe getting a vet this offseason for Trey wouldn't be a bad idea. But
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't given up on him. I think he'll be good in the league. I just don't think
He'll be on.
it
the
might
team.
not be on the Thunder.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
also, this might be a good time to kind of explain what happened last however many weeks, because there was a period of time we were uploading almost weekly.
Yes.
And if you watch these videos and you're not somebody that talks to us, life got busy, but
Life got very busy.
but you know that's typically the excuse for people to upload recently. But unfortunately, I was in Tennessee most of the time.
Yeah, I've taken some trips to Tampa, New York City. Got COVID at some point.
Nice.
That was fun.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah. So,
On the brink of death, and Matt Tinsley said, "Let's come back and do one more podcast."
but yeah, no. We had a few free weekends when we first started,
And we were
then,
like, man, we were pumping them out. I was like, this is going to get consistent. It's going to be nice. And then all of
Boom.
a sudden it's like, oh, man. So,
busy, busy, busy.
and you'd think we would have done the play-in game stuff, but we ended up getting busy for that too.
Yeah.
It's just like,
You went to San Diego at one point.
yep, San Diego. We've been across the country, both kind of worldwide. Pitbull, we're coming for that. But, nah, just life stuff. So, all that being said, you know, I really think the future of this podcast is something we want to continue. I don't know how consistent it'll be, but definitely now in the off season, having some time off will be nice.
Yeah.
We might give some updates, you know, but the idea behind this was, I think it paired very well with watching the games,
Yeah.
and to not do that makes it a little harder. So.
And we wanted to, react to the play-in game and all that stuff, but we just had stuff pop up.
Just stuff, yeah, it's just life, man.
So
But I consistently get enjoyment out of this. I think it's fun. I don't know much about basketball, but I like talking about it. And
Yeah.
it's cool to let your voice be heard to my mom and Caleb. Shout out, hey, real quick, shout out Caleb Chapman.
Yes,
He
yes.
Printed us some Hoops and Hot Take merch, which
Yeah.
you can go to Etsy at Chap by Chap and purchase. And he also printed us some bags that Matt and I use now pretty consistently.
I use it
Hoops
every
and Hot
single
Take.
day for
Yeah.
my job.
And seriously, I legitimately, every time I pack now, I use that. So, Caleb,
Yeah.
if you watch this whole thing, shout out to you.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to my mom. Shout out to Jesus Christ. Shout out to Sam Presti. Shout out to Coach D, who was playing golf the other day and hit a camera with a golf ball. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I actually didn't see that one, but
It was on Twitter. He tried to drive and it smacked right into the camera. Somebody was like, "Oh man, that's bad."
typical Thunder
So
play.
exactly, fumbled the bag again. But what? You got anything else? You got a hot take you want to share?
Not necessarily a hot take, but I guess it's more of a question to ask to you.
Okay.
What do you expect from Thunder basketball next season? What do you think is going to happen?
I honestly see if we pick at 12.
And you can
I don't see whose minutes it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe some good bench minutes from a center position if we find one there.
Yeah.
But honestly, I really think that playing at best.
Playing at best.
I think the thing that would change my mind is if we make a trade.
Yeah.
For somebody. I don't see a rookie coming in and changing our lives. Now, next season, next lottery, the 2023, 2024,
24.
I guess that would be that lottery. Or whatever after next season. When we have 4 picks, all coming in from the Clippers, who are hopefully going to blow it up this offseason. They won't, but we can dream. That'll be the year I think something happens big for the Thunder franchise. Just because we either going to hit on something big pick-wise, or I think that we trade all that for something to make a move. Because that's really
Really, we don't need 4 rookies.
We already have 4
Yeah.
juniors by that time.
Unless all those picks are just pick 6, 12, and
Yeah.
5. but who knows? But no, I mean, yeah, it could happen.
So what about you? What do you think? You think it's a playoff team next year?
6th seed. Big expectations next year.
6 seed? No, you're kidding. Stop.
Nope.
Stop.
Bookmark
Cat.
this.
6?
Bookmark this. When we're in the 6th
You realize you have to in the West?
In the West.
Who's gonna be worse than us?
We're
in the West?
fine in the West.
Okay. I don't. That would be big. You play out of play-in contention.
I think Chet, he's gonna have not an immediate impact, but I think throughout the season he's gonna get better and better. I think the game's gonna start to come to him more, and I expect J-Dub to be that guy next season. I see Shea being that guy next season.
Shea needs to be top 5 MVP voting for me to be impressed. I'm telling you, he was up there.
Yeah.
He was 7 or 8 this year, I think. Or don't quote me on that. He was up there. He had votes.
He did. So 6th seed, Shea, first team all again, baby.
That would be amazing. Nothing would make me happier.
J-Dub
Hard to do.
making a leap. I think he'll be 18 points per game consistent player.
Lou Dort needs to make an offensive decision. That's what's contingent upon this. He either needs to be really good or he needs to stop shooting the basketball. No offense, Lou.
You know, he made comments similar to that. He said he needs to get better in that area. But
just pass the ball.
For him to be snubbed, though, that kind of makes me so mad.
I get it. He's the reason we won
5 to 6 games. You know,
yeah.
Like those,
closing out Kawhi,
Jamal Murray.
And honestly, it felt like this was the year of Thunder coming up short in almost every category. Shea not being most improved, J-Dub not being rookie of the year, Coach D not being coach of the year. Which, don't get me wrong, I think
he fell exactly where he should.
I think everybody kind of did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, maybe Shea being most improved was it's all right. But all that being said, it felt like we just were consistently either second or third, especially when it came to almost making the playoffs. And it's right there.
Yeah.
Just right there. But hopefully next year, it's the year of revenge.
6th seed, Chet Holmgren, J-Dub. 12th, go to 7th pick, maybe. 6th pick, maybe. Who knows? Throw in the first few, first round picks in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think maybe this year is. I keep saying this every year. I think this year might be the year we start cashing in some assets,
I don't know. I got one last question for you.
Yeah.
One last question.
Okay.
And if you got something else, let me know. I've been debating about this. Would you trade Josh Giddey, some picks, Trey Mann, some younger guys for Trae Young?
Trae Young?
Trae Young. Would you trade for Trae Young?
No. Huge defense liability.
Lou Dort, J-Dub, Shea, Chet. I think he's allowed to be a little bit. You know what I mean?
That's true, but there's so many things I feel like that go behind the scenes with Trae.
That's one of the few superstars that I think will maybe moved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I ask.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you have as many picks as we do, you always consistently look for that.
I would rather trade for Jaylen Brown or Mikal Bridges.
He would have to. Oh, there's no way they would ask him. But who knows? If they did, I would love that. That would fit so much better.
Yeah. I want one of those two on my team next season, which I see neither one of them on our team next season.
Yeah, but you can dream.
Yeah, I mean, it never hurts to play around with the idea, but yeah.
You know what? I think that's a great wrap to a great season and a great podcast.
Yeah, overall great season. It was a fun season. I think we surprised a lot of people.
I think we did. I think we'll surprise a lot of people next year. Hopefully surprise me so and you.
Yeah.
But all that being said, we appreciate you watching.
Yep.
Seriously, we comment about what we could do better, like the lighting.
Maybe consistency.
Maybe consistency. If we get that, that's okay. We'll work on it. But yeah, look forward to more stuff in the future. Just maybe not until something happens in the Thunder world. So,
Yeah.
all that being said, see ya.